What's up, y'all? Uce Perez, your entrepreneurial hippie here, and I am here to talk about what to do when you get lonely. So, this is actually Monday, and I recorded this video already, twice. But I couldn't decide on which one I like better because, you know, as I mentioned in the first video, the whole thing about presence, I'm a little bit awkward on camera, so I try to do my best, you know, and having some type of video presence. So, what to do when you're lonely? A couple of things had come to mind. You know, you can always take yourself to the movies. You could... Oh, there was a point I wanted to make. So there's a reason why I started with that video. Or with that music. Okay, do it again. There's a reason why I started with that song. Last week was a really weird week for me. As I said before, these videos are to kind of walk along the same kind of things that I deal with. So I was feeling undeserving of a lot of stuff, but mainly love from other people, because I feel as though, well, I'm still trying to learn to love myself, so why do I feel like, you know, I should extend myself to other people when it seems as though I barely know what love means myself? So every time I would feel like that, that song came on last week. I have it on my playlist, so it's just kind of random that, and it's a pretty long playlist, so it's kind of wild that it popped up so many times last week. So, you know, when you get those type of coincidences happening in your life, then it's most likely for a reason. Back to the point, that ties into, I guess, what the topic was I wanted for this week, what to do when you're lonely. You could, you know, some cliche things you could do would be, you know, take yourself to the movies, take yourself out to dinner. I've done it all, y'all. I'm a person that I feel like I've always felt like I've needed the acceptance, and I've needed to be around people to be able to feel loved. And so I've been spacing myself away from that type of mentality by trying to spend more time by myself, trying to spend more time on my focus, so that I can learn, you know, that I don't need love from other people. I can receive it internally. Another thing you can do is definitely go get a good book. Get a good book, because that will take you into a completely different world than the one that you're in, and it might even give you some insights on anything that you might have going on. So this book is called The Celestine Prophecy by James Redfield. It was recommended during a phone conference that I was on, and it's a pretty lit book. To just give a little bit of background, it's an adventurous science fiction or a metaphysical fiction book, and it dives into the realm of spirituality versus religion. And within the book, there becomes this big conflict between exploring and discovering spirituality and the control of the Catholic Church. It's a really complex book, so I'm not going to get too far into it. It's good to read when you're feeling some type of way, because as I said before, you know, I felt like I was going through all this stuff last week, and then that song kept coming up, and that's actually the first insight. So let me see if I can find the page, because I think I had it memorized what page it was that had the insights listed on it. Yes, I got it. It's towards the end of the book. So if you feel like you've felt any of these coincidences, it's most likely that your mentality is changing to a more spiritual complex. And that can be difficult, you know, because people think that gaining spirituality or learning spirituality is supposed to be this beautiful, amazing path, and really, in all actuality, it's nothing but destruction and pain of old habits being swept away. But the end result is what's beautiful. That's what makes the path beautiful. So as I said, the first insight was on coincidence, finding things that are happening to you that it's just too random that it would be happening to you at that certain time. So the second insight is when you realize that those around you are experiencing the same things. So that's also a good sign to show that you're around the people that you're supposed to be around. The third and the fourth insights have showed that the universe itself is just a giant ball of energy, and we don't need to try to steal that energy from one another, or you know, like, oh, they're prettier than me, or they got more than me, grr, you know. It doesn't have to be like that. The fifth insight says that we could end world conflict if we receive an inpouring of this energy from a higher source. If you seek your power through a higher source rather than those that are around you, again, it's a way to further balance yourself. The sixth says that we could clear our old repeated habits and traumas and find our true selves. And it's basically saying that it's possible that you can find your true self if you acknowledge all of these other rules first. Some people just don't seem to remember what it was like when they were learning these insights for themselves. Now, like I said, this is a fiction book. This is a whole fiction book. But a lot of the points that it makes are extremely valid to reality. The seventh says that to set in motion the evolution of these true selves through question, intuition of what to do, and answers. So basically saying that the seventh is we can make sure that we become who we're supposed to become if we ask the right questions and then seek the answers. And the eighth is knowing how to relate in a new way to others, bringing out in them the very best. And that's the key to keeping the mystery and keeping the mystery operating and the answers coming. So the eighth is basically saying, you know, once you ask the right questions, once you start finding the right answers, once you know how to receive this energy for yourself, make sure you're treating others right. Make sure you're giving them the chance to be able to learn the stuff for themselves. Or to be condescending and stuff to somebody who is learning, it's not good, because like that can throw them back, because it'll make them think they're not doing what they're supposed to. But people can tell me I'm not doing the right thing and stuff, but that little voice in the back of my head has grown strong enough to be like, nah, forget all the rest, listen to me, okay? And I like to think that that's my higher self awakening more and more each day. So, not trying to make this too long, just wanted to share this book with you all, a couple of things you can do while you're lonely. But if you're seeking your own power, I would definitely recommend this book. Because as I've said, it's a fake book, but a lot of the points that are made in this book are very real. So, peace and love. Thank you for listening to yet another video. I've made it to the second video, you guys. I can't tell you how difficult this was to be able to do this, because like I said, I'm a photographer, okay? I don't like being in front of the camera. I feel like I'm not supposed to be in front of the camera. Y'all, remember to love yourselves first. Remember, if you're on a path right now and you feel like that's where you're supposed to be, then that's where you're supposed to be. And those who fall off in the process, were either there for a reason or their season ending. You know, there are very few people in my life that I've known for long periods of time. And those who I have known for long periods of time, I cherish their friendship. And they know that. You know, but don't be afraid to stay on your path. If you're strong enough, keep on your path, because your path is your path. Their path is their path. If y'all happen to intersect, beautiful. If not, stay on your path, because that's the path that was meant for you. Happy Monday. Stay strong this week. You got this, okay? And I'll see y'all next week for video number 3. Video number 3.